Imagine this: two nations separated by thousands of miles of desert and mountains, yet connected by something far stronger than geography: trust, necessity, and a vision for the future. Today, we are not just talking about politics or business. We are talking about survival, strategy, and opportunity. When you look at Saudi Arabia, you see a nation at the heart of the Arab world, rich in resources but facing challenges that even oil cannot solve. When you look at Pakistan, you see a country with resilience, a powerful military, and one of the youngest populations in the world, ready to shape the future. Put them together, and you don't just get cooperation. You get a partnership that could shift the balance of power across entire regions. This is not about history alone. It's about why Saudi Arabia suddenly realizes it cannot move forward without Pakistan standing beside it. And as we walk through defense, economics, culture, global politics, and future visions, you will begin to see why this relationship is not just important, it is inevitable. So stay with me until the end, because what you are about to hear is not simply a speech, but a roadmap of how two nations, when united, can change their destinies and perhaps even the world. Saudi Arabia today finds itself navigating a region full of uncertainties, where alliances are shifting, threats are becoming less predictable, and the traditional balance of power is no longer guaranteed. In this environment, the kingdom increasingly values Pakistan not only as a diplomatic partner, but also as a strategic defense ally. Pakistan has one of the largest standing armies in the world, highly disciplined and battle-tested across various terrains and conflicts. This makes it unique in the Muslim world as a country with the capacity to project credible military strength when required. For Saudi Arabia, which faces both external pressures from regional rivals and internal concerns about stability, Pakistan represents a trusted and proven partner in the domain of defense cooperation. The relationship is not new. Decades of military collaboration have built an understanding that few other nations can replicate. Pakistani officers have historically trained Saudi soldiers, and Pakistan has often been called upon to support the kingdom during times of need. This cooperation is not just symbolic. It reflects a deep reliance on Pakistan's military expertise. While Saudi Arabia has invested heavily in modern weaponry, advanced technology alone cannot replace experience, discipline, and operational readiness. Pakistan provides this missing element, combining its human capital with an unmatched reputation for resilience. Another important factor lies in the nuclear backdrop. Pakistan's nuclear capability, while not directly shared, provides a form of strategic reassurance to Saudi Arabia. In a region where Iran continues to expand its influence and capabilities, the presence of such an ally strengthens Riyadh's confidence that it's not standing alone in an increasingly hostile environment. For European observers, this partnership may appear unconventional, but in the context of the Middle East's fragile security architecture, it is a natural alignment born out of necessity. Moreover, the symbolism of a strong Pakistani military partnership reinforces Saudi Arabia's position within the Islamic world. By aligning closely with Pakistan, the kingdom signals that its defense arrangements are not limited to Western alliances, but also draw strength from within the broader Muslim community. This dual approach allows Riyadh to diversify its security options and avoid overdependence on any single partner. In today's rapidly changing geopolitical landscape, such flexibility is invaluable, and Pakistan plays a role that no other nation can easily substitute. Saudi Arabia and Pakistan are bound by a relationship that extends far beyond politics or military cooperation, resting firmly on a foundation of economic and energy interdependence. Saudi Arabia, as the world's leading oil producer, has long supplied Pakistan with the energy it needs to sustain its growing population and industries. In return, Pakistan has provided Saudi Arabia with something equally valuable: human capital. Millions of Pakistani workers reside in the kingdom, contributing to its economy by filling critical roles in construction, healthcare, transport, and services. And these workers not only support the Saudi economy, but also sustain Pakistan's own economy through the remittances they send back home, which form one of the largest sources of foreign exchange for Islamabad. This dynamic creates a rare form of mutual dependency. Saudi Arabia knows that its ambitious infrastructure projects and Vision 2030 goals require a stable, skilled, and cost-effective workforce, something Pakistan continues to provide in abundance. Unlike many other labor-forcing countries, Pakistan's workforce carries with it cultural and religious familiarity, making integration smoother and trust stronger. This soft factor often goes unnoticed in Western discussions, but is vital for understanding why Riyadh relies so heavily on Palestinian manpower. Energy is the other side of the equation. Pakistan, with its limited domestic oil and gas reserves, relies heavily on imported fuel to keep its industries, transportation networks, and households functioning. Saudi Arabia has stepped in time and again to offer deferred oil payment schemes, easing Pakistan's balance of payments crisis and stabilizing its economy during times of distress. These gestures have not only built goodwill, but have also cemented the perception of Saudi Arabia as an indispensable energy partner. As global energy markets undergo dramatic shifts, this interdependence gains even more importance. Saudi Arabia is attempting to reduce its reliance on oil exports by diversifying its economy, but energy will remain a cornerstone for decades. At the same time, Pakistan's energy demands are only expected to rise given its growing population and industrial needs. This parallel trajectory ensures that both nations will remain tied together in a relationship where energy security and economic opportunity flow in both directions. For Saudi Arabia, this connection is not just transactional, but strategic, reinforcing the kingdom's need for Pakistan at a time when stability in labor supply and loyal markets are more crucial than ever. The global balance of power is shifting in ways that directly affect Saudi Arabia's strategic outlook. And this is where Pakistan's role becomes increasingly vital. For decades, Riyadh relied heavily on its partnership with the United States and other Western powers for protection, investment, and influence. However, recent years have shown that these alliances are no longer as predictable or dependable as they once seemed. America's pivot toward domestic priorities and reduced involvement in Middle Eastern conflicts has left a vacuum that regional players must now fill on their own or with new partners. Saudi Arabia, aware of this reality, recognizes the necessity of strengthening ties with countries like Pakistan that can offer both geopolitical leverage and practical support. Pakistan's geographic position makes it uniquely significant. It sits at the crossroads of South Asia, Central Asia, and the Middle East, connecting the Arabian Peninsula to China through projects like the China-Pakistan Economic Corridor. This location transforms Pakistan into a natural bridge for trade, energy pipelines, and strategic connectivity for Saudi Arabia. Aligning with Pakistan provides a gateway not only to South Asia, but also to China's growing influence, which Riyadh is keen to balance alongside its own interests. This triangular relationship, Saudi Arabia, Pakistan, and China, creates a new axis of cooperation that helps the kingdom diversify beyond its reliance on Western partners. Equally important is Pakistan's diplomatic value. As tensions rise between Iran, the Gulf states, and global powers, Pakistan often plays a balancing role, maintaining relations with multiple sides without being viewed as an outright adversary by any. This diplomatic flexibility is an asset that Saudi Arabia can rely upon when maneuvering through sensitive regional disputes. For a kingdom looking to enhance its influence without being dragged into direct confrontation, Pakistan offers a subtle but powerful form of support. Europeans watching the shift may note that it reflects a broader global trend. Middle powers are increasingly shaping international affairs as the old order weakens. Saudi Arabia's recognition of Pakistan's importance is not an act of charity, but a pragmatic calculation that acknowledges where real strength lies in today's world. With China expanding, the United States recalibrating, and regional rivalries intensifying, Riyadh knows it cannot afford to overlook the advantages Pakistan brings to the table. This evolving alignment demonstrates how necessity and geography often dictate partnerships more than ideology or tradition. The connection between Saudi Arabia and Pakistan is not only rooted in strategy or economics, but also in the deep cultural and religious bonds that set their relationship apart from many others. Both nations are tied together by Islam in a way that transcends ordinary diplomacy. For Pakistan, Saudi Arabia holds a sacred place as the custodian of Islam's holiest sites in Makkah and Medina, which draws millions of Pakistani pilgrims each year for Hajj and Umrah. These journeys create a constant flow of people-to-people engagement, reinforcing the spiritual and emotional bond that is impossible to measure in purely political terms. For Saudi Arabia, this connection strengthens its leadership role within the Muslim world and provides it with a reliable partner that respects and shares its religious values. The presence of a large Pakistani community in the kingdom further deepens this relationship. Generations of workers and families have lived in Saudi Arabia, becoming part of its social and cultural fabric. This integration is smoother compared to other foreign communities because of shared traditions, values, and religious practices. This sense of familiarity builds trust at a societal level, ensuring that the partnership is not limited to high-level agreements between governments, but is supported by the daily interactions of ordinary citizens. Such organic connections are rare in international relations and add resilience to the ties between the two nations. Another layer is the respect Saudi Arabia receives in Pakistan, where the kingdom is often viewed as a brotherly nation rather than just an economic partner. Public opinion in Pakistan generally holds Saudi Arabia in high regard, which makes political and economic collaboration easier to pursue. Unlike partnerships driven solely by financial incentives, this relationship enjoys a foundation of goodwill and emotional affinity. That gives Saudi Arabia a strategic advantage because it knows Pakistan's support is not only institutional, but also socially and culturally reinforced. At a time when many global partnerships are transactional and easily disrupted, the Saudi-Pakistan bond stands out for its depth and authenticity. These religious and cultural ties give Riyadh a unique layer of security and influence that cannot be replicated by Western nations, no matter how much financial or military power they bring to the table. The trust that flows from shared faith and heritage ensures that when Saudi Arabia looks to Pakistan, it sees not just a partner, but an ally, grounded in values that both nations hold dear. Saudi Arabia's ambitious Vision 2030 is designed to transform its economy from being overly dependent on oil to a diversified system powered by innovation, investment, and global partnerships. For such a vast transformation to succeed, Riyadh cannot rely solely on Western technology or external consultants. It needs partners that understand its regional dynamics, can provide manpower, and are willing to build long-term cooperation without conditions that often come from the West. This is where Pakistan emerges as a natural fit. With one of the youngest populations in the world, Pakistan offers an energetic, skilled, and cost-effective workforce that can contribute to Saudi Arabia's industrial, agricultural, and technological projects. The construction of smart cities, expansion of infrastructure, and growth of non-oil industries in the kingdom require an immense amount of labor and technical knowledge. Pakistan, with its engineers, IT specialists, and a vast pool of trained workers, provides both. Already, Pakistani professionals are involved in healthcare, aviation, and construction across Saudi Arabia. But Vision 2030 opens new avenues in sectors like renewable energy, digital services, and tourism. This not only strengthens Saudi projects, but also creates opportunities for Pakistan to showcase its growing expertise in areas beyond traditional labor export. Agriculture is another sector where cooperation is expanding. Saudi Arabia faces natural limitations in food production due to its climate, while Pakistan has fertile lands and a strong agricultural base. By investing in Pakistan's agriculture and food supply chains, Saudi Arabia can secure a reliable source of imports to feed its population, thereby directly supporting one of its long-term strategic goals of food security. This complements Vision 2030's emphasis on resilience and sustainability. Beyond manpower and resources, Pakistan's emerging technology ecosystem also aligns with Riyadh's aspirations to build a knowledge-based economy. Startups in fintech, e-commerce, and software development are flourishing in Pakistan, offering Saudi Arabia new opportunities for collaboration that go beyond traditional trade. These joint ventures could help the kingdom not only modernize its economy, but also establish itself as a hub for innovation in the Muslim world. The success of Vision 2030 depends on partners who can commit to shared growth rather than one-sided gain. Pakistan's youthful population, growing expertise, and cultural alignment with Saudi Arabia make it an indispensable collaborator in this transformation. For Riyadh, this is not about charity or nostalgia. It is a calculated recognition that Pakistan holds keys to the human capital, agricultural potential, and technological energy needed to make the kingdom's ambitious future a reality. Ladies and gentlemen, when we step back and look at the broader picture, it becomes clear why Saudi Arabia needs Pakistan today more than ever before. Defense and security cooperation provide the kingdom with strength in an uncertain region. Economic and energy interdependence create a bond that neither nation can afford to ignore. Shifts in global power dynamics highlight Pakistan's role as a bridge between East and West. Religious and cultural ties give this relationship a depth that cannot be manufactured. And finally, the aspirations of Saudi Vision 2030 find a natural partner in Pakistan's useful energy, talent, and resources. This is not a relationship of convenience, but one of necessity, history, and shared destiny. Both nations stand at a crossroads where the challenges of today can only be overcome through cooperation, trust, and vision for the future. If Saudi Arabia is to secure its place as a modern power while maintaining its influence in the Muslim world, and if Pakistan is to rise as a key regional player, their partnership must not only continue, but also deepen in ways that reflect the realities of our time. Thank you for your attention, and may this understanding of mutual strength guide us toward a future of greater stability, prosperity, and unity. I wish you all the very best and good luck as we collectively strive for progress and peace. Imagine this: two nations separated by thousands of miles of desert and mountains, yet connected by something far stronger than geography, trust, necessity, and a vision for the future. Today, we are not just talking about politics or business, we are talking about survival, strategy, and opportunity. When you look at Saudi Arabia, you see a nation at the heart of the Arab world, rich in resources, but facing challenges that even oil cannot solve. When you look at Pakistan, you see a country with resilience, a powerful military, and one of the youngest populations in the world, ready to shape the future. Put them together and you don't just get cooperation, you get a partnership that could shift the balance of power across entire regions. So this is not about history alone, it's about why Saudi Arabia suddenly realizes it cannot move forward without Pakistan standing beside it. And as we walk through defense, economics, culture, global politics, and future visions, you will begin to see why this relationship is not just important, it is inevitable. So stay with me until the end, because what you are about to hear is not simply a speech, but a roadmap of how two nations, when united, can change their destinies and perhaps even the world.